My husband got a vasectomy and didn't tell me. My husband, Chris, 32M, and I, 31F, have been married for 4 years and together for 6. Early in our relationship, we had several long conversations about our desire to have a big family. I was very clear from the beginning that being childless was not an option for me. I wanted at least 4 kids. As an only child, I know how lonely it can be, and I expressed that I wanted our children to be close in age, ideally having them about a year to a year and a half apart. Chris always wholeheartedly agreed with this. He often made lighthearted comments like, "Whether we have 4 or 6, it's your call since you're doing most of the work anyway." On our wedding day, just before we left the reception for our honeymoon, he whispered to me, "Can we get out of here and get started on baby number 1? His excitement made me feel so loved and supported. I should mention that I didn't stop taking birth control until about 2 months after we were married, and soon after, I got pregnant with our first daughter, Joy. Joy was a happy pregnancy overall, though her birth was long. She was a beautiful, healthy baby. She did go through a period of colic, which was challenging, but aside from that, she was a wonderful addition to our family, at least in my eyes. However, I noticed that Chris became more distant during my first pregnancy. When I asked him about it, he assured me that he was just overwhelmed by the thought of becoming a father, but that he was still excited. Yet, something felt different. For context, we both work full-time. I earn about $20,000 more per year than Chris, and we live in a 5-bedroom house that was a gift from my mom, who was thrilled at the prospect of becoming a grandmother to Minnie. My job is fully remote, with maternity leave benefits, and I have a substantial nest egg saved for emergencies. I think it's important to mention these details because I know financial stress can be a significant concern when it comes to having children, but for Chris and me, that wasn't the case. Then Joy came out perfectly. Chris had 3 months of paternity leave and was home with us for the majority of that time. My mom visited a lot and paid to have cleaners come. There were still a lot of long nights, and it was tough for me to breastfeed, but overall, nothing unexpected. Chris still seemed distant, but always helped with Joy. We have an agreed open phone policy, so I did check his phone quite often but didn't find any sign of cheating. He goes through my phone whenever he wants to. I asked if he found me unattractive while pregnant, and he assured me no. He loves me and he's excited for our family. Fast forward a year after. We're sleeping through the night, and I am back to work. I saw my doctor and was cleared to try for Bundle of Joy 2, and Chris seemed very enthusiastic at this point. He even downloaded an app to track my fertility cycle so we could make the most of my ovulation times. We had a lot of fun, and he was always very passionate, but after 6 months of trying with no pregnancy, I started to worry. I'd voice my concerns and Chris would brush them off, so I tried to be patient, but then almost 2 years passed and Joy is growing up by herself. I broke down to my mother crying, and she agreed to come with me to the doctor to get checked out. I was very emotional and scared, but the doctor assured me everything is fine and that I should be able to conceive without any issues. I went to Chris with this knowledge, and he was very upset. I went to a fertility specialist. I explained I thought something might have gone wrong during my last pregnancy, concerned that I was maybe blocked or infertile somehow. He said why not wait and just let nature take its course, and I said, our little girl is almost 3 and growing up by herself. I reminded him of our plans, and he just nodded and said all we can do is try. I asked if he would see a fertility specialist, and he got angry, saying there's nothing wrong with him and we don't have the money for fertility treatments anyway. This confused me since we do have money, we have my savings, and we are doing pretty well. When he went to sleep, I decided to go through his phone again and go back through his calendar and call logs. I noticed about 8 months after Joy was born there was a blocked day indicating he'd taken off from work, but it was in the middle of the week, and I don't remember any sort of special occasion behind why he'd take this random day off. I went through the call logs and found an office number about a week before, and when I Googled the number, a local business where you could get a vasectomy appeared. I couldn't believe what I was looking at. I instantly felt cold all over, then started to panic. I woke him up and confronted him. He just stared at me while I went off and admitted babies were harder than he thought, and he felt like my first pregnancy took forever. I couldn't believe it. I packed my things, Joy and her things, and drove to my mom's house. She is in distress with my sudden appearance and my inability to stop crying. I finally told her yesterday morning what happened, and she's just beside herself. I don't know what to do, but every time I think about how during intimacy Chris would talk to me about giving me a baby, he'd had the vasectomy the entire time. I feel so disgusted and stupid. I can't believe my little girl is going to grow up alone. Chris has been blowing up my phone, but I just keep letting it ring and haven't read any of his texts. Edit. To those saying I coerced my poor husband into agreeing to a big family, nope. I was always open and honest about my dreams, told him it's okay if he wanted different things, and he not only repetitively agreed and accepted, he also helped me plan, nest, put together the nursery, and enthusiastically participated in conversations regarding having multiple children around friends and family, and always said we'd have at least 4. That was our number. Him getting a vasectomy behind my back was a complete shock. Also, we've both always agreed to the open phone policy. I never betrayed his trust by going through his phone since I always had his consent to do so, and he has mine. We even have the same phone passcode. I never wanted to be in a relationship where we kept secrets from each other. I know other couples feel different, but this is another thing he always 100% claimed he agreed with me on. I vaguely remember one week where he actually turned me down for intimacy, claiming he had a head cold, and he didn't join me in the shower like usual during that time, but I didn't think anything about it. And no, men never need a wife's signature to get a vasectomy, but at least don't lie to her about having it and make her look stupid. Am I wrong or asking too much?